Salutations, everyone. Welcome back to Victoria 3. I'm Lord Forwind, and today we're actually going to be doing probably a relatively short Let's Play. It'll cover a good portion of the game's time frame, but I don't think we'll go all the way to the end or do anything crazy. Because people have been requesting a semi-tutorial Let's Play, this will focus on that. If people enjoy this, I might do an actual Let's Play, but for now it'll be a tutorial, so I'm going to go slow at the start and try and explain the rationales behind my decisions, and hopefully it helps you. So we're doing the Hudson Bay Company, and our goal in the short run will be to form Canada. Forming Canada is relatively easy. All we have to do is start the Confederate Canada journal entry here, have good relations with Great Britain and other Canadian states, and then we click Confederate Canada. Also, I should mention that I did a guide on Canada that should come out before this Let's Play. So if you are curious as to a quick summary of everything we're going to do and what to do as the Hudson Bay into Canada, you can watch that rather than this series, but this is going to be more in depth. So the first thing to do, since we're going to Confederate Canada, is we're going to start the technology nationalism. This unlocks the Confederate Canada decision, which is good. And we're also, I've already started improving relations with Great Britain. We need to have a 50 relation with Great Britain in order to confederate our neighbors. So it's going to take a little while to improve relations to that point. We're a subject of Great Britain, which is a little bit annoying because it does mean we do have to pay money to them all the time. And we're not particularly wealthy. This is one of the lowest populated countries in the game. With some of these up here have like 11k population living there, which basically means it's empty wilderness with a couple little port colonies. And annoyingly, despite the game saying that there should be fur, and these guys having a fur monopoly, if you look, there is no fur resource, which is kind of annoying. But it might be the sign of the times. The other thing to note, Great Britain here owns Newfoundland, and there's no easy way to get it back. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on either Quebec or Ontario, and we're going to throw down a construction sector. The reason we're doing it in one of these two over here is they're the more likely areas we're going to get urbanized than, say, our capital in Manitoba, which has significantly lower population that is free. We're already using a fair amount in our barracks and our logging camps, so it just makes sense to move it slightly elsewhere. Afterwards, we have access to this lovely Canadian prairie modifier in these two states, as well as a Niagara Falls modifier that will be useful later, which means in these two provinces, agriculture is going to be key. So we're going to start building up the two agricultures. And as you can see, it's going to take forever until we get the construction sector going. Now, we've got those set up. So the next thing we're looking for is iron, followed by coal, and then at some point we'll build a tooling workshop somewhere. The reason we're going to focus on actually building up an industry, regardless of the fact that the British market supplies us with a good amount of cheap resources, is because at some point, ideally, we'll get independence. And it's nice to have a built-up economy so you don't accidentally crash it as soon as you leave. No Brexit problems here, please. So let's find our iron mine. Here's our iron mine. Here's a coal mine. Oh, and a sulfur mine. Now, we're not actually going to build the sulfur mine there next. We're going to go elsewhere and throw down a logging camp. Rationale being, these provinces only have 3k peasants, meaning we can only employ 3k or so more population till it grows. So early on, building multiple buildings in a single province is going to be useless because one building will take up almost all the supply. So to start, we want to get just one building built in each province, or if they already have one, we want to expand their agriculture. Once we have done that, we're probably, since we're building the construction sector here, we'll probably do the same over here, and then we're going to go through and we'll build all of the other resource buildings, making sure that they're at the bottom of our construction queue, because we're going to be building them and we're not going to be able to use them for quite some time. And unfortunately, that's just the reality of Hudson Bay Company, is you don't have the population to support a large industry. We're going to have to rely on confederating other areas as well as just general growth. We're also going to... actually, we must have a single construction sector somewhere then. Oh, we already have... oh, no, we don't. We're going to swap to iron frame buildings because that will help as well. And that's pretty much what we're going to do here. It's going to be relatively slow for a while, but we'll keep an eye on everything. So first off, we've got the construction sector built up here. So as you'll see, it's going to very rapidly drain this peasants to fully incorporate the building, meaning there's not going to be a lot of free population here, which is why our building area swapped to Manitoba. We're going for wheat and livestock ranches first. First off, because a lot of our population starts as peasants, meaning they have low qualifications for higher buildings. Okay, people complaining about difference in living standards between us and the United States. Global economic equality, liars who cheat foreigners out of money. It's the way of things now we're thinking about. We're going to take this as an example of global economic inequality, mainly because we don't want radicals, and there's really no point in offending the US at this point. So let's look at our laws. I should have probably done this already. Presidential republic, autocracy. We are going to propose census suffrage. It's going to kill our authority, though, so we might actually not do that at this point, even though it would be a nice change. What else can we do? We could pass public schools. That would probably be worth it. Get some education going. It has a good chance at passing as well. Our government is run by industrialists, which is fine. Can we move the intelligentsia in there? We can. We already have level 2 colonial affairs, which already start colonizing this area. Unfortunately, the US is going to beat us to colonizing it all, but if we get lucky, we at least gain all of Manitoba. And what have we got up here? Low market access in Yukon territory. There's not a lot we can do about that, to be honest. Why are we using... oh, this has got gold fields, that's why. At some point, it's going to be worth building a railroad up there, once we know what a railroad is. We're a little bit backwards in that sense. Although, to be fair, most of the rest of the world doesn't know either. So as you'll see, we've now got the food going here, and it's very rapidly shifting our peasants from being peasants into farmers. And now we've moved on to Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan. There we go. I know how to say it. Okay, so past the law, we have educational access, which is nice. Let's see what else we got. We could switch to property women. It's not the great. A lot of people aren't particularly happy about that idea. Public schools. We could switch to per capita taxation, which would get us more money. To be fair, it does hurt the poor of our land more, but we could really use the 1.5k increase in cash at the moment. So we're going to work on that. We have some input goods shortages. There's not much we can do about that at the moment. But we are going to go to our military, and we are going to put it down to the lowest level we can, which should hopefully save us some cash. A little bit, not a lot. We're going to go into debt. If we're lucky, Great Britain will bail us out. Otherwise, well, we're going to suffer for a while. But the reality is getting these buildings up and running first is more important than anything else, really. We're building up here. Yep, see, we've used up all the free stuff here. Although we do have some unemployed, so I'm actually going to intervene and throw down another mine there. A rousing speech captivates the public. Actually, I'm going to turn down the game volume a little bit. I think it might be too loud for you guys. Ease reform or help him get more popularity. We're going to ease the path to reform. I don't really know why you'd want to promote the popularity of some people. I can understand if you want to support an interest group, but we already have good interest groups. Ammunition and artillery is expensive. We're going broke. We knew that was probably going to happen. It's more important to actually get it functioning at the moment. There we go. Used up all our population there. If worse comes to worse, we pause our construction and we start to regain money. Also, I haven't checked to make sure that we're actually doing the proper production methods for our lands. In fact, we are terribly off. Okay, fishing wharves, fishing trawlers, urban. We have no urban buildings. That's nice. Okay. Hopefully that will help our economy get a little bit better, although I think we now probably going to have a shortage of tools again, given time. Okay, per capita taxation, which helps a bit. What else do we want to pass? We really do need those consumption taxes on grain, I believe. Let's double check how much that's bringing in. That's not bringing in that much money, so I think we'll remove it, and we will change from an autocracy to a census suffrage, getting some political parties moving. Then yes, we are probably going broke here, but that's just the way it happens to be. We want rapid growth. The cost of rapid growth is spending money. Actually, you know what? I'm going to intervene here and throw down another wheat farm here. Great Britain has agreed to take on our national debt. Yay! Thank you, Great Britain. They don't tend to do it much, but they do it at least the first time in my experience. Okay, so we're almost on nationalism. Cool. Cross-border investments. We're not really manufacturing that much, so it doesn't make too big of a difference there. Right now, our whole government is basically funded off the gold mines in the Yukon Territory. It's honestly just the way it goes. There we go. Nationalism. Confederate Canada. We need to have amicable relations or a greater GDP than a neighboring country. So, improving relations. We could have already started this, but whatever. We have cordial relations with some of them anyhow, so... There we go. Census suffrage has been passed, as well as path to liberalism completed. So, freedom, equality, and brotherhood. Fearless visionary. Political leaders would be wise to follow. A voice of reason will do reforming. Any other laws? I'd like to change to national militia from peasant levies for sure. There's no good reason to have peasant levies moving forward. Okay. We are actually colonizing at a decent rate. I just finished off Central Archives because it was right there. How's our minting doing? Yeah, not well enough. Let's work on production. Atmospheric engines, please. Okay, we've employed a good chunk of our population in territories, which is ideal. It's going to be a while before we return to profitability. We just have to accept that. In the meantime, however, we are going to throw down some decrees. Grass is greener on those three at least. A screw frigate. Cool. free technology from spreading of it. Hilariously, we have a decent level of literacy. Okay, so legitimacy of the government is in question. We have to add in the Liberal Conservative Party, which sounds like a contradiction in terms. Unfortunately, we can't do that because the landowners hate us, which means we might have to trim our government a bit. No, we'll just have to accept low legitimacy for a while. The landholders, nobles, are unhappy, in particular because we are changing the law, so it will radicalize them. Hopefully not to the point they revolt. Opposition members put forward demands. We'll acquiesce to them. And, well, right now we have a penalty towards that, I guess. The Yukon Territory eruptions. Uh-oh. Our people need us. We're going broke again. Oh no. We're going to go broke a couple times, probably. It's more important to build the buildings than it is to have a stable economy at this point. And now we'll do some logging in Nunavut. Our logging camps make decent amounts of money, which is nice. And our populations are growing. Specifically, the ones I put the migration on are doing quite nice. And more importantly, though, and it's why we did it, the intelligentsia are happy with us, so they are doing their propagandist when they're happy. 50 migration attraction, which is ideal. And now we have a reformation here, intensive grazing, soil-enriched farming, atmospheric pumps, all good stuff. So that should help our economy a bit. Right now, I'm just trying to employ as many people as we can. I think we have some states that are not incorporated. Yeah, so let's incorporate them. Which means we need a bureaucracy building somewhere. Since Manitoba is currently our capital, we'll put it there. And this will incorporate relatively quickly. We're still working on good relations. Okay. I should have started the relations earlier. Oh well, it's fine. Their GDP is actually, we're over 1 million now. So if you actually look at where we started, we've grown it quite a bit. Their GDP is growing as well, just not at the rate ours is, because we're funding it all through debt. We're going to go keeping building until we have to stop because we run out of money, basically. And hopefully we pass these national militia soon. Uh-oh, here comes the US colonizing at like a rate of like 1 every 60 days. Do we have anything we want to export? We could try exporting some wheat. We got to be careful though, because we're already low on bureaucracy. That's probably all we should do. Hey, national militia. Nice. Then we're no longer as broke as we once were. Well, for the moment. It alters. We were no longer broke, and then it went back to normal. We just want to keep an eye on Confederating Canada. Check every once in a while. The sooner we can get one, the better. Although we could technically get New Brunswick, we don't actually border them, nor Nova Scotia. We have Trade routes need convoys. Yeah, that was what I was worried about. We don't have that many ports. In fact, I don't even know if we have ports. Do we even have ports? I don't think we do. Wow. We might need to fix that. Okay, let's do pharmaceuticals. Why not? Okay. Hopefully we'll get all of Manitoba colonized before the Americans get here. The reality is they're going to get a good portion of Saskatchewan, and there's really nothing we can do about that. Unfortunately, we're not able to apparently offend these natives enough. I really shouldn't be researching quinine, but I'm doing it just because. Oh, 500 days versus their very, very rapid 50 days. Yeah, this. I hope they rework that area. It doesn't make sense we lose it so fast. Okay, we are pretty much broke at this point. Hopefully we get another building built before we go broke. Nope, we're broke. Okay. That is all right. Because even though we are broke, there is in fact an investment pool. So what we can do is we can unpause, get a week or month in, and then wait. Get another one in, and then wait. Cordial relations. Hopefully that shifts soon. I didn't know that Canada was good growing lands for tobacco. I thought part of the whole reason the US did so well in places like Virginia and the South was because they could grow tobacco. Didn't know Canada was a tobacco grower. See, these are okay, they're fully incorporated now. Good. Once we complete these tobacco plantations, that should help a good portion with our money problems. I always forget where the resume button is. Be nice if there was like a resume building button up there. Hey, we got a Bulgarian migration coming, I guess. Look at those lines. They're not even staying in the graphic. Oh well, it happens. Okay, we should be getting really close here to being able to get a single nation confederated with us. Let's just make sure our GDP hasn't crashed. Doesn't look like it. We're still the dominant nation of Canada. Good. And we can now move in the Liberal Conservative Party into government again. There we go. Come on. Get friendly with us. There we go. We should be able to get somebody. Confederate. Upper Canada. Yay. That's a good prize. Upper Canada is actually valuable land. So now we're making money again. So we're going to start building immediately and go broke again. Or actually, we're not going broke. Cool. Oh, it hasn't calculated yet. Oops. So anyway, we now have the modifier Canadian unifier for 28 months. So we just have to wait until that's done. And then hopefully we get Lower Canada in particular. That would be the prize here. They're quite valuable. As it is, we just increased our population and money a lot by annexing these guys. What was it, almost like 3K change? Oh, let's just make sure they're actually doing the right type of production. We're also going to start turning on the automatic building at this point, just so I don't have to keep as intensive an eye on it. Market squares, gas streetlights. There we go. Make sure that we are using the poorest form of military that we can at this point. And I think for this time, this will be it for this episode, and we will continue this next time. Hopefully this is helping you learn the game, and I'll see you all then. Bye for now.